Hello and welcome to the I Can Do podcast with Benjamin Lee. We're here to talk about tips and strategies to have an I Can Do mindset. Life is what you put into it. Get the most you can. Here's your host, Benjamin Lee.
Hello and welcome. It's day 18 of 300, my Ultraspeaking project. 300 episodes, discussions, impromptu style using the Ultraspeaking app. And we're at 9 minutes this week. So it's a little bit late, but I'm following through what I said I was going to do. So 9 minutes, here we go. I get a topic from the Ultraspeaking app. And I talked to someone earlier today about confidence in speaking. You know, playing games like this is a game, and these are speaking games, but they do translate really well into the real world. A lot of people are looking for confidence when they talk. Some have a difficult time just having a casual conversation. My family and I, we went to AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play, and they had the Funtown RV show, and we got to meet. Oops, I hit one of my light here. We got to meet Hall of Famer Drew Pearson. Got his autograph here, as you can see. Really, really cool. And while we were waiting for him, we had some great conversation with people who were just in line with us. And sometimes that's a little bit challenging for a lot of people. And so one of the benefits of this is that, you know, the more you speak and the more reps you get more confidence just talking to people. I asked Mr. Pearson a question when we went up there. It was fantastic. It was great. And sometimes people get a little bit nervous doing things like that. But being comfortable in your own skin, that's really what everybody wants when it comes to speaking, whether it's in front of a stranger, 5 people or 500 people, 5,000, however many people, just having that confidence to the ability to do that. So that's one of the byproducts of just practicing on a daily basis, a craft, a skill, even with respect to speaking, not even so much public speaking, but just speaking and the ability to feel the pressure. So here we go. Let's see what my topic is. Today, it is all about holding it all together. It was a Saturday night. The next day, Sunday, we were going to have some people over. I believe it was 2018. Had gone to Walmart. Had gotten into an argument with my wife. I did not want to go to Walmart. It was probably about 7 p.m., maybe 7:30 or so. When I was in Walmart shopping, I felt this really odd feeling. Number one, I was already frustrated because of the argument. I was trying to find the food products that she wanted me to buy. But I got this feeling in my body, in my chest, that I had not felt before. I had a blood clot back in 2014, and I knew what that felt like, but this did not feel like it. But there was panic. There was shortness of breath. So when I got home, I still felt it. I felt it driving home. And when I walked into the door and I shared that with my wife, she said, "I think you're having a panic attack." I'd never had a panic attack before. I went to sleep that night. It was difficult to sleep. It was Sunday morning. I had to preach the next morning. I wasn't teaching Bible class, but I was sitting in class trying to hold it all together. One of the members of the congregation is a doctor, and I asked him to come back to my office. When I shut the door and sat at my desk, I just started crying. What is going on? He took my blood pressure. It was fine. He checked my pulse. It was normal. He said the same thing. "I think you're having a panic attack." I never had a panic attack or anxiety attack before. I wiped my eyes, went back to the auditorium, and I still had work to do. I still had to preach. I got up in front of a couple hundred people. I don't think anyone knew that I was earlier, 20, 30 minutes earlier, crying in my office, struggling to figure out what was happening. I was actually able to hold it all together. At least from the outside looking in, I was able to do that. But on the inside, no, I wasn't holding it all together. I felt terrible. I felt awful. That next week, I did my best trying to work this out, trying to get it out of my system. I tried to work out. I prayed, and I think eventually it did dissipate. It disappeared. But that was a wake-up call. We have certain wake-up calls in our lives. For some, it can be a divorce. It could be a health scare. It could be going into bankruptcy. It could be getting fired. I've had other wake-up calls in my life. I've been severed from my pharmaceutical company. I've started over with respect to money. I've had these moments in my lives where certain family members were not there for me. Well, this was another wake-up moment because something I was doing, I was not handling properly. I was not addressing and facing these things head on. We try our best, don't we, to hold things together. Now, it is the one, ultimately, Jesus, that holds it all together, according to Colossians chapter 1. And without him, we're all in trouble. But we do our best to hold everything together. We put on a strong face, and we even say, stay in character. We don't want other people to see the cracks, to see the doubts, to see the fears, to see the nervousness that we may have. Yeah, we try to hold it all together. And to some degree, in fact, no, that's actually a good thing to hold it all together because we can't just burst open all the time like a dam that's out of control. But I will say, trying to hold it all together, eventually we will explode. Pop, crash, destruction if not careful. You see, we try to hold it all together because we think that we're actually somewhat special, that we're the only ones going through a particular problem. The reality is we're not special in that sense because everyone at some point in time has some kind of problem. The better thing for us to do is not to try to hold it all together, not to try to suppress different feelings or emotions, but to share them if we're frustrated. To be angry, and by the way, it is possible to be angry without sin. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 26 and 27, if I'm quoting it correctly. You double check me, I may be wrong about that. It is a good thing to be able to hold things together, to be able to hold the rash comment, to be able to not always be reactive in nature. And that's a good thing. But there are certain times where we're going to need help. We're going to need assistance because we're not always going to be able to hold everything together. And when that time comes, if we don't have help, we're in a lot of trouble. Can you relate to anything that I'm saying? Are you trying to hold it together right now? Are you trying to hold it together and white knuckle through maybe a addiction? Trying to hold it all together and not express some of your frustrations that you have at your job or with your spouse? Are you trying to hold it all together and think that I'm the only one that can solve my own problems? We throw on and put on a great face, but there all will come a moment where we're going to need someone like my wife to tell me you should just go to bed and try to rest, or my doctor brother in Christ who had to reassure me, no, there's really nothing else going on. We're going to have to be able to open up and share things. In fact, I did share this with some other men a few years later at the congregation, and Maybe that's saying something about myself because it still took a couple of years to open up and talk even more about this. If I'm saying anything, I'm saying that maybe there are times that are appropriate to hold things together, but there are many times where when we do that, it can actually become detrimental. So, how do we respond? Well, number one, we have to be able to say three words that are really challenging to say. Do you know what they are? Yes, I love you. Those are three difficult words. But that's not what I'm talking about. I am sorry. Those are three challenging words to say. That's not what I'm talking about. I need help. Now, those are some challenging words. Because our society tells us to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, be self sufficient, figure it out on your own, be a problem solver, be an individualist. But we're not made to be that. So if you're trying to hold it all together, make no mistake about it, you're going to need some help along the way. The great prophet Moses needed help with men holding his arms up in a time of battle. So do we. The great king and prophet, King David in the Old Testament of the Bible, needed another man by the name of Nathan who would tell him, "You are the man." Because David was trying to hold it all together in the wrong way, trying to cover his sin. No, we need help. We need to acknowledge. And the first person that we need to talk to and acknowledge, we go to God. We need to look in the mirror, figure out, I got some kind of problem here. That's a way better thing to do than trying to hold it all together when in the long run, that's simply not going to work. All right. Day number 18, holding it all together. Have you been trying to do that? Maybe you need to let go. Maybe you need to ask for help. If you need prayer, let me know. Take care. God bless.